Hey, it's that card girl, and today we're going to be going over the One Piece card game's Starter Deck 16, which is a green starter deck with Uta as the leader. Let's take a second and admire that pretty box before we banish it forever. The box does tell you on the back that you're getting 5 commons, 6 promotion cards, 3 super rare, and your leader card. So you get 61 cards total, 1 leader, 10 Dawn, and then your 50 card deck. Hey, got it right this time. Enough about that box, let's get into it. Once your box has been safely and humanely taken care of and is for sure not still on your living room floor, you'll find the starter deck and also PRB01 Premium Booster Pack inside. The deck is packaged in plastic wrap with the nice shiny Uta leader on the front and the Dawn on the back. Alright Hans, I know you want to open the pack, but let's set it aside and go through the deck first. I just want to take a second to let you know this is part of a series of videos we're doing going over the One Piece TCG starter deck. We look over the cards that come in the pre-built deck and offer up some suggestions on cards to upgrade your deck with. Now there's nothing like a satisfying pull of plastic to get this started off with. Free those cards and then put them in sleeves because you're not a heathen. So we've got our leader Uta on top, followed by 2 4-cost 6k power Utas, 2 9-cost 11k power Shankses, 4 2-cost no power 1k counter Gordons, 4 3-cost 4k power 1k counter Charlotte Katakuri, 2 2-cost 3k power 2k counter Monkey D. Luffy, 4 2-cost backlight event cards, 4 1-cost new Genesis event cards, 4 3-cost I'm Invincible event cards, 4 2-cost 3k power 1k counter Bartholomew, 4 3-cost Fleeting Lullaby event cards, 4 2-cost Where the Wind Blows event cards, 4 2-cost The World's Continuation event cards, 4 2-cost Tot Musica event cards, 4 8-cost 10k power 1k counter Monkey D. Luffy's, and your 10 Dawn. Let's dive deeper into those cards and see what they all do. To start, you have your 5 life leader Uta with 5k power. For 1 Dawn, when attacking once per turn, you can reveal 1 card from the top of your deck and add up to 1 film type card to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck. This is a pretty film heavy deck, so your biggest issue is going to be picking which card you want now after you swing with your leader. Then we have our 1-cost event card New Genesis, whose main effect is if your leader is Uta, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 film type card other than New Genesis and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order and set up to 1 of your Dawn cards as active. So a nice searcher card that costs the Dawn but gives it back to you in the end. So if you really think about it, it's pretty much free. I'm Invincible is a 3-cost event card with a main effect of set up to 1 of your Uta leaders as active. Funny phrasing since you can only have 1 leader, but semantics. There is a trigger on this card for if you pull it into your hand after a hit to your life, which is up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 1000 power. Tot Musica, a 2-cost event card, lets you rest 1 of your Uta cards and rest up to 2 of your opponent's Dawn cards. Now, this is during the main phase of your turn, so you rest your Uta, but you can potentially ruin your opponent's chance of using a counter card by resting 2 of their Dawn they didn't spend last turn. Where the Wind Blows is a 2-cost event with a main effect and a trigger. For the main effect, if your leader is Uta, set all of your film type characters as active at the end of this turn. The trigger is basically the same, set all of your film type characters as active. The 3-cost event Fleeting Lullaby's main effect is if your leader is Uta, up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 4 or less will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. The trigger has the same effect. This is nice for getting those big hitters or cards with effects when attacking to not bother you for a turn. honestly a great card to throw down when you're low on life but close to victory to try to buy you one more round. The World's Continuation is a 2-cost event that is a counter card. When you counter with it, if your leader is Uta, you may return any number of characters on your field to the owner's hand. Up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 2k power during this battle for every returned character. So this does a few things for you. It buffs whatever character you select and lets you pull cards that are already played back into your hand. So if there's an on-play effect you'd like to activate again, this card can help you do it. Since it's a counter card, you do have to play it on your opponent's turn when they are swinging at you. The wording's a little silly on this one, saying to the owner's hand, because it does specify it has to be cards on your field, so you can't go returning all your opponent's cards to their hand to get yourself a buff. The last event card included in the deck is Backlight. It's 2 cost, and during the main phase of your turn, if your leader is Uta, you choose one of the following. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, or KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 5 or less. So if your opponent has a blocker out, you want to use this to rest that blocker so they can't use it when you swing at someone else. If they have a rested character you want to get out of the way by KOing without having to use a character to swing at it, this is great for that too. On to Gordon. He's 2 cost with 0 power and a 1k counter. He's a blocker, and on your opponent's attack you may trash any number of music type cards from your hand. Your leader or one of your characters gains plus 1k power during this battle for every card trashed. He's a cheap blocker you can get out early in the game that won't stick around more than one block unless you trash a music card from your hand to buff him. You can use his buffing effect towards other characters too though if you want to keep him out for more potential blocking and have the cards in your hand to do it. This character card Uta is 4 cost, 6k power. She's a blocker, and her effect is during your main phase, once per turn, you may trash one film type card from your hand. Give up to one Rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Bart here is a 2 cost, 3k power, 1k counter. At the end of your turn, you may rest this character, set up to one of your film type characters other than Bart as active. He's great for letting you swing with the character, but reset it where your opponent can't swing back at it their turn. Monkey D. Luffy is 2 cost, 3k power, and a 2k counter. If you have arrested Uta, this character gains plus 1000 power, so if you swung with your leader and swung with the 4 cost character Uta during your turn, you can buff Luffy. Charlotte Katakuri is 3 cost, 4k power, 1k counter. This card's effect is if your leader has the film type and you have 6 or more rested cards, this character gains plus 2000 power. Confession time. When I read this card at first, I was like, well, this is kind of useless. You'd have to swing with your other 4 characters since you can only have 5 characters at a time, your leader, and have a rested stage card for this to work. Guys, you can rest Dawn cards. Rested Dawn 100% counts to get this effect. So Katakuri can easily have 6k attack power as long as you're spending Dawn. Don't know what to spend it on? Give it to Katakuri. If you give this card 6 Dawn, that makes it 12k power card thanks to this effect. This Monkey D. Luffy is an 8 cost, 10k power, 1k card that does not have an effect, just a nice old big hitter. Shanks here is 9 cost and 11k power with an on-play of KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters. Remember the World's Continuation event card we were talking about a few minutes ago? You could use this as one of your cards you get rid of and play it again on your next turn if you want to get that KO effect again. So we've gone through the deck that comes in ST16. Now let's talk about some cards you can use to upgrade your deck with. We'll start with just some base characters with no effects. They do have some decent power for their costs though. Frankie from OPO2 is 5 cost with 7k power and a 1k counter. Zoro here from OPO2 is 4 cost with 6k power and a 1k counter. Jinbei from OPO2 is 2 cost with 4k power and a 1k counter. Then Usopp from OPO2 is 3 cost with 5k power and a 1k counter. Then we have the event card 3 Sword Style from OPO2. This is a 3 cost counter card. When you use it, counter up to one of your leader or character cards gains plus 6000 power during this battle. Then play up to one character card with a cost of 3 or less and no base effect from your hand. So you pay 3 Dawn to play this, but you also get to play a 3 cost or less character for free. It's kind of 2 cards for the price of 1 with that added huge buff bonus to help you make it through that swing. That Usopp I just mentioned would be great to piggyback off this card. Almost forgot, but this card also has a trigger for when you pull it from your life, which is to rest up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards with a cost of 5 or less. So instead of the base effect, you get to make it where one of their cards can't attack you, possibly saving you from taking another hit to your life. This Monkey D. Luffy from OPO2 is a 7-cost 7k blocker with an on-play of play up to one film or Straw Hat Crew type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. You can use it to bring in this Brook from OPO2, who is 4-cost, 5k power, 1k counter with an on-play allowing you to play up to one film or Straw Hat Crew type character with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. And you can use Brook to bring in this 3-cost Nico Robin from OPO2 with 4k power and a 1k counter and an on-play effect of play one film or Straw Hat Crew type character card with a cost of 2 or less from your hand. And you can use Nico to bring in either Tony Chopper or Trafalgar Law. Tony Chopper from OPO2 has 2k power and 2k counter. If you attach one Dawn when attacking, you can rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. And of course, that will make it 3k, so for it to really be viable for swinging, you're going to be tossing a Dawn or 3 on it anyways. Trafalgar Law from OPO2 has 3k power, 1k counter. This is an activate main effect that has you rest one Dawn in your cost area, not putting it on the card itself, and then returning this card to your hand and play up to one character with a cost of 3 from your hand. So if you have 2 Dawn you don't want to leave unused, but you have a 3-cost character you're wanting on the board the next turn, you can play Trafalgar Law and then only have to pay 1 Dawn your next turn to get that 3-cost character out. If you didn't want to bring either of those in, you can get your Gordon from the pre-built deck brought in. By playing this combo string, you're getting 16 Dawn worth of cards out by spending just 7 Dawn. If you wanted to stop that combo a little early, you could play Uta from Starter Deck 11, who is of course 3-cost, 4k power, and a 1k counter. She is a blocker with an end of turn effect that lets you trash one event card from your hand and set one film type character as active. Speaking of events, there's Diable Jambe Venison Shoot from OPO2. It costs 2 Dawn, and its main effect lets you KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 4 or less. It's also got a trigger that allows you to play up to one character card with a cost of 4 or less and no base effect from your hand. Sanji from EBO1 is 4-cost, 5k power, and 2k counter. Giving him 1 Dawn on your turn lets him gain plus 1000 power for every 3 rested Dawn you have. So he can get pretty powerful for just a 4-cost character. Nami from OPO2 is a great searcher. She's 3-cost and has 3k power. She gets her effect on play and when attacking if you rest a Dawn in your cost area, not putting it on her. You get to look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to one film type card other than Nami and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Hody Jones from OPO6 is a 7-cost, 8k power character with Rush. The on-play effect lets you rest up to a total of 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn card, then add the top card from your life to your hand. So you could be taking away the Dawn your opponent was saving for a counter event, making it to where you could swing at a character you were really wanting gone, or get a card from your life in hopes it's something you can use. Eustace Captain Kidd from OPO1 is 8-cost and 8k power, so if you put a Dawn on this card, during your opponent's turn, they can only attack this character. And with 8k power, that's big. During your main phase, once per turn you can rest this character and play up to one character card with the cost of 3 or less from your hand. So it can get a bit of a combo going like we were talking about earlier if you have the right cards in your hand. Then we have Don Quixote do Flamingo from OPO4, a 10-cost, 10k power character that on play makes it where up to a total of 3 of your opponent's rested leader or character cards will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. Alrighty, that's all the upgrades we're going to go over today. This is such a fun deck because you can get those combos rolling and you've got lots of great searching opportunities to get the right cards into your hand. Let's get to ripping that pack before Hans explodes from the anticipation. Thanks for clicking and giving me a chance to talk One Piece with you. We upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, plus we put out a short on Sundays. Like, comment, subscribe, share this with your weird next door neighbor that always wants to talk to you about his bunions, and get out and play some cards. That card girl out.